Good morning, everyone. I have here a 2012 Chrysler 300C. This one has got the 5.7 Hemi, and it comes with the 5-speed automatic transmission. I've been meaning to make this video. I bought this car about a year ago, and it's been sitting here. It's been sitting here for over a year. I had an issue with the transmission. This is my car, by the way. This is my car. I bought it like a year ago. It needed some work. I bought it at the auction, and I paid decent money for it, not too much. And in the description it said transmission issue. So I'm like, not a big deal. This car comes with the NAC1 transmission. The NAC1 transmission is made, Mercedes-Benz makes these transmissions, so they're pretty reliable. I don't see much of them breaking down. It's a 5-speed, and they can handle a lot of torque, better than the 4-speed transmissions. And so anyway, indeed it had a problem with the transmission. I fixed a lot of the I fixed the body work. I replaced the bumper in the front. It was broken, and I had the whole car sprayed black again because it had too many scratches and dents. But the main issue was the transmission. I'm not sure the work that was done on this car before. I'm not sure who worked on it before, but immediately when I got it, I picked up the car. I pulled the oil pan from the transmission, and I noticed that the transmission was in good shape. You can tell right away once you pull the oil pan out of any transmission. You can tell the transmission is good, or it's either good or it's either bad. But this transmission has nothing but normal wear and tear. So I decided to change the filter, gaskets, and I put back the oil pan. That did not take care of the problem. So the next step, the NAC1 transmission has its own computer. It's not integrated into the PCM. So I went ahead and replaced the NAC1 transmission TCM, the TCM transmission control module. I went ahead and replaced it, and that didn't do anything. So I didn't really want to throw parts at it, and I took it to the dealership, and the tech at the dealership told me that the transmission was bad and that it needed to be replaced. So it was gonna cost me an arm and a leg trying to get it done at the dealership. So I just paid for the diagnostic and brought it back. The only code that I got, it was the P0730, which it says gear ratio, incorrect gear ratio in third. And at the beginning, once you start the car, it'll shift from 1 to second, from second to third, and it'll just go blank. It wouldn't shift after that. It wouldn't shift up, and it wouldn't downshift. But so the dealer told me that the transmission was bad. I went ahead and changed the transmission, and the problem was still there. So at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. And I let it sit for a long time, like almost a year. This car has been sitting for almost a year, and I try to download all the diagrams from Chrysler. I check all the electrical stuff, all the fuse box, the TCM, the wires for the transmission, the harness for the transmission. I checked everything for continuity, nothing. I couldn't find no broken wires, so smash wires, cut or pinch wires, I couldn't find anything. So this car sat there for like a whole year. And one day I tried to start it and the car wouldn't start. The battery went dead. I put a new battery and I tried to start it and it cranked over, but it wouldn't start. And when I finally got it running, the ABS light came on. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and drive it and see what it's doing. You know, hopefully nothing else is getting messed up. I was really upset because I had an issue, and then on top of that, the engine wouldn't start. I guess it sat there for too long. And I finally got it running, and I started driving, and I noticed that the car started shifting. It shifted all 5 gears. So I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So that way, if you guys run into an issue like this, you might have an idea of what to look for. This is the NAT1 computer that I replaced. That didn't do anything. Let me start it. It's kind of hot in here. I already got my scanner hooked up to it. And I just now I ran for codes. And the only code I got is the U140B impulsible left rear wheel speed signal. And like I said, my ABS light is on. And let me go to transmission data. Transmission data. And I'm gonna show you without the ABS sensor plugged in, and what it's doing when the ABS sensor is plugged in. Okay, let me see. Okay, we are in park right now. I'm trying to see what's the best way to do this. Okay. And this one right here is gonna show you, no, this one right here. It's gonna show you all the gears. Okay, let's just give it a trip, a short trip. I'm just gonna show you what it's doing right now. It's kind of hard. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a better position right here. There. I like that better. Okay. I'm just gonna take a short trip just to show you what it's doing. So right now it's shifted to second, and that's third gear right there. more room. Okay, here we go again. The second, third, it's fourth gear, fifth. There you go. So it shifted all 5 gears. And let's go back, and I'll replace the ABS sensor because I don't like lights on the dash. So I went ahead and replaced the ABS sensor. But when I did that, it completely stopped shifting. It got stuck in third, and I couldn't get it out of there. So right now, shifting fine. It's driving good. It shifts smoothly. I don't have no issues. I got it up to like 110 miles per hour, and it runs pretty good. The only thing is that I need to balance my tires because my steering wheel vibrates at 65, 70 miles per hour. Once I hit the 100, it doesn't vibrate no more. So right now it's shifting fine. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the ABS sensor, and I'm gonna show you what it's doing. And for the longest time, and I did all this for the longest time, I couldn't figure it out. It's kind of hard to read the diagrams from Dodge, and the TSB don't really tell you much about the transmission. Even the tech at the dealership couldn't even get it right. So these cars are kind of a little complex. And let me see. See, that's my ABS right there. I got it unplugged. It's right there. Let me plug it back in. I'm gonna plug it back in. I'm gonna put you here for a minute. I'm gonna plug it back in. Oh shit, it's hot. Ah, the muffler's hot. Alright, it's plugged in. Pretty sure my ABS light's gonna go out. It's plugged in. Let me try to set the camera again. All right. For a whole year, I wasn't able to drive this car until the ABS sensor went out. Now let me show you what it's doing right there. Okay. We're on first gear. That's second gear. And that's third. But look, after third, look what it's doing. It's not shifting anymore. That's it. Oh, wait a minute. It's not right. It's not right. It's crazy. Well, there goes my theory about start here. acting up a little bit. I gotta get back. It's actually shifting. But my ABS light doesn't go out. So it's probably not even reading the ABS sensor. So my ABS light should have gone out already. So let me stop right quick, make sure that yeah, I don't think it's reading it. My ABS light is not going out. I should have gone out. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna go to ABS data. Oh, let me see if I can see it right here. Ah, okay. Oh, still dead. See how the other ones. Let me see. I don't think I plugged it in right all the way in. I didn't plug it in all the way in, I think. Let me check. I'm gonna push it here for a minute. I don't think it's plugged in all the way. Either that or that's the old ABS sensor. I didn't even take it out. I just wanted to try. Let me see if it's reading it now. It's not reading it. So the transmission is not gonna say. It's not reading it. It went out again. This is the second sensor that goes out. All of them are moving except the wheel speed rear, which is going to be the one on your left side. Driver's side rear. So all of them are working. And if you notice, the wheel speed and the rear, it reads different. I think I know what happened. They might have changed the differential. And this transmission needs both inputs. It needs the output shaft input, and it needs the N3, N2 and N3 sensors input. But these are my findings. If you get the code P0730, incorrect gear ratio, you might want to try your speed sensor. This is for a 2012 Chrysler 300C with 5.7 V8 and the 5-speed automatic transmission, Nat 1. So far, I'm driving it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm not even gonna worry about the ABS. It's shifting fine, other than the ABS not reading the rear wheel speed. And this is how I figure out what was wrong with the car, you know. So before you start by replacing the transmission or replacing the computer, the wiring harness, before you start spending any money on this car, just try that. Unplug your ABS sensor for the left wheel and see what it does. Yeah. I mean, first things first, remove your oil pan, especially if the car has over 100,000 miles. It's time for a service. So remove your oil pan. Inspect your your transmission. You know, if you don't see like broken pieces or metal and the oil pan, if you just notice normal wear, you most likely your transmission is good from the inside. So your problem is gonna be on the outside. And while you're at it, go ahead and replace your filter and replace your gasket. A lot of times the gaskets are good. You don't have to replace them, but I always put a new gasket either way. And like I said, the car is shifting fine, other than the ABS light. It don't bother me, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna keep driving it like that. I like it. If you guys find this helpful, just hit the like button and subscribe. I'm gonna try to make more videos. I normally get the hardest jobs, the jobs that nobody can figure it out. And luckily for me that the ABS sensor went out and I was able to figure it out what was wrong with this car. I'm not sure what the relation between the ABS and the transmission, but it says right here, see, it says right here, the transmission control module TCM constantly calculates the transmission ratio based on the input speed sensor 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 signals, and the calculated output shaft speed sensor, which I think is going to be output speed sensor is probably going to be the ABS sensor. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know what the relationship between the ABS sensor and the transmission is, just put it below the comments so that we all know. At this point, I don't know. I try to follow the diagrams. I don't see no connection with it. The intent of this diagnostic is to detect if the transmission is trying to mechanically shift into different gear than the TCM intends. So it's got a note right here. It says the transmission control module is programmed to immediately place the transmission into neutral if P0730 or P1731 codes are set. So what the computer does, it puts the car on limping mode. That's why it wouldn't let me shift after third. It says engine RPM greater than 4,500 RPMs, no N2. That was not the case. me see. And I print out all my diagrams. I couldn't find. This is for the transmission. As you can see, it's got a couple of fuses. It's got the transmission relay. I checked all that. It was all good. And then it's connected to the shift lever by computer data lines. And then it's got all your solenoids right here. And it controls all the solenoids. The TCM controls all the solenoids. But I don't see no connection with the ABS, except for the data lines. If you notice right here, the data lines is D65, D64, and this is violet, white, and the other one is yellow. D65 is violet, white, and D64 is yellow. And I also have the ABS diagram. As you can see, that all the signal comes from the ABS module. See, there's no any other connection, but I found this D65. Let me see if I see yellow green D65 and then yellow D64. So I believe that's how the ABS control module communicates with the transmission control module through the computer data line system. Anyway, if anybody knows the answer, just let me know in the comments. I really don't understand much the diagrams from Chrysler, and I couldn't find no relationship between the ABS sensor and the transmission. But there you have it. There you have it. I solved this problem other than the ABS light staying on, and I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. The car runs and drives pretty good. So thank you for watching, guys. If you guys know what the relationship between the ABS sensor and the transmission is, just let me know. Well, thank you. Y'all have a great day.